everybody, to the Sioux Falls Arena, home of the here on South Dakota Public TV and Kettleland TV. First up tonight, in our first semifinal, or quarterfinal game actually, first round, Mitchell and Yankton. Mitchell, the number 1 seed. Yankton, number 8 seeded overall. This one will be followed by Pierre and Watersound coming up after this one. The all-ESD bracket tonight. Tom Neiman, along with John Wilson and the entire Kettleland crew. And really, when you talk about Mitchell, you talk about winning state tournaments.
Talk about winning state tournaments, just being in state tournaments, and of course Mike Miller, the big story for Mitchell. We've all heard a lot of media attention on Mike Miller as far as from all the media goes. Let's take a look at some of their stats throughout the year. He is their leader in both points and rebounds. 22 points and 12 boards every game. Jason Heckman follows with 12. Mitchell has won 4 of the last 7 state AA championships, and Gary Munson and his Kernels have been to 15 consecutive state AA championships. And of course, the Kernels 16-4 on the year. They finished the regular season 10-4 in the ESD, 14-4 during the regular season. Now, as far as the Yankton Bucks go, they come in as the number 8 seed. Dave Holper in his 9th and final year as the Bucks head coach. They're 8-13. Their team leaders, Brad Gulke, 12 points, 8 rebounds a game. Scott Nedved, 10 points. And Mike Schneider also adding 10 points every time out. They finished 4-10 in the ESD, 6-12 throughout the regular season. And once again, they come in as the number 8 seed. But once again, Mitchell, the team to beat here in the state tournament. They've basically picked to not quite run away with it as they have in the past, because they have a couple tough teams to contend with, not to mention looking past the Yankton Bucks.
Yankton will give them a run tonight. So that's the first game up tonight. Michelle Van Manen, the program director from South Dakota Public TV, is back with us tonight. Good to have you along again.
It's great, and we have a huge crowd here in Sioux Falls for our AA action, and I hope there's a huge crowd at home as well, not just in Mitchell and Yankton, but across the state. And if you enjoy this type of programming, the way to support that is to call 1-800-777-0789, because this program wouldn't be here without people like you calling in their support. So go to the phone and then enjoy the game.
And Michelle, at the halftime of this game and both games tonight and between games, what's going to be going on? Tell the people about that.
Well, we're going to be doing some membership drive pledge action back at the studio in Vermilion, and that's your opportunity to show your support, because remember, we do have this partnership with Kettleland Television and South Dakota Public TV and the South Dakota High School Activities Association. But the important element in that partnership is support from our viewers of public television to call in their pledges and let us know that you want us to do this again next year. So now's the time to go to the phone.
All right.
We're looking forward to it, though. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And that red you're wearing indicates a Yankton fan, I believe.
I'll have to admit, I do have a bias for Yankton.
All right. Keep it under your hat. All right.
Okay,
We're
I won't tell
unbiased
anyone.
here. Michelle Van Manen, we'll talk to you a little bit as the games go on here tonight. Mitchell and Yankton get set to go at it in the first of 2 quarterfinal round games tonight at the AA tournament. Back with the starting lineup after this.
Championship 97, the South Dakota Boys State AA Basketball Championship, is sponsored by Norwest, your community financial services store. Sioux Valley Health System, strong as one, even stronger together. The South Dakota Trial Lawyers, standing up for South Dakota. And by Dakota Care, proven performance in managed care.
It is called a vision quest. For Native Americans, it is the search for one's meaning and purpose in life. For Norwest Banks, it is the hope that one day we all will understand and value the Native American culture. That is why Norwest is bringing noted photographer Don Dahl's Vision Quest exhibit in CD-ROM to people across South Dakota. Because at Norwest, we believe the only thing more important than having a vision is sharing it.
There's a tradition in South Dakota. It says we can do anything we set our minds to do. So while the rest of America debates how to control the costs of health care, the physicians of South Dakota are quietly doing something about it. They're showing employers how to control their costs without reducing care. Some call it pride, others tradition. We call it Dakota Care. South Dakota's answer to America's most difficult question.
Welcome back to the Sioux Falls Arena, home of the AA Championship. This this year on South Dakota Public TV and Kettleland TV. Brandon Valley beat Rapid City Central this afternoon, 72-54. And Sioux Falls Lincoln beat Spearfish 57-47. So it'll be Brandon Valley and Lincoln in the first semifinal tomorrow night. The other two semifinal participants to be decided tonight. Mitchell and Yankton up first. Pierre and Watertown will follow this one. Let's go to Gordon Meaden on the PA for tonight's starting lineup.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're pleased to welcome you to this second session of the State Boys High School Basketball Tournament. This tournament is being conducted under the guidance and regulation of the South Dakota High School Activities Association for the enjoyment and benefit of high school students. Good sportsmanship is essential for the success of these programs. We hope you will enjoy the games and support your athletes in a positive and sportsmanlike manner. Be a sport and support good sportsmanship. And now, starting with the designated visitors, the Yankton Bucks cheerleaders. Heidi White, Kylie Dummett, Chris Kurtz, Jill Kirschman, Melissa Myers, Sarah Rupiper. The Yankton Reserves, number 21, Corey Sternquist. Number 23, Nick Altoff. Number 41, Toby Dahl. Number 43, Aaron Henson. Number 45, John Kiggy. Number 51, David Metzke. And number 53, Dan Brinkman. Now the starting lineup for the Yankton Bucks. At a forward, number 35, a senior, co-captain Nick Snyder. At the other forward, number 15, a junior, Dennis Coakley. At center, a co-captain, number 55, a senior, Brad Golke. At a guard, a junior, number 31, Scott Nedved. And at the other guard, a junior, number 11, Rob Neff. The assistant coaches, Randy Gross, Chad Gordon, and Con Keshier. Head coach of the Bucks, Dave Hofer. Now the cheerleaders for the Mitchell Kernels, designated home team. Jessica Eilert, Jennifer Hinson, Maggie Howe, Jonelle Margello, Jennifer Oldenkamp, and Andy Truffle. Mitchell Reserve, number 3, Ernie Kuiper. Number 4, Chad Porter. Number 10, Travis Merkwan. Number 20, Tony Young. Number 25, J.J. Tippett. Number 34, Tom Cotley. And number 40, Nick Scott. Starting lineup for the Kernels at one forward, the co-captain number 13, Mike Miller. At the other forward, a senior number 24, Tom Young. At center, a senior, number 50, Skip Young. At a guard, a co-captain, a senior, number 55, Jason Ekman. assistant coaches, Bob Johnson, Jason DeLang, Doug Timmer, Mike Bush. Head coach of the Kernels, Gary Munson. The officials to work this game, Gary Reed and Justin Engel. And now, ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand as we honor the flag of our country? Please join in singing our national anthem as it is played by the Roosevelt High School Rough Rider Band under the direction of Kelly Jacobsma. We would remind all in attendance that the proper respect is to remove your hat, face the flag, and stand at attention with your right hand over your heart. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Johnny Wilson, you were out here yesterday. Talk a little bit to Mitchell coach Gary Munson. What was on Munson's mind?
Munson, not very much. Kind of laid back. He, for their hour out on the court, worked him pretty hard for about half of it. The rest of the time, they just shot around. But he's, like we said, this is his 15th consecutive one. In his 31 years of coaching, he's, you'd say, has the state tourney experience as far as the coaching box goes.
7 championships for Gary Munson in boys basketball.
Had his work cut out, keeping Mike Miller away from the media right after practice. Kind of scooted everybody in, and Munson came out.
Miller,
wait until after the tournament.
Miller will be the man. There's the Munson. Getting the jacket off right away. Don't mess around. Yankton actually does match up pretty good with Miller in there with Brad Galkey. Galkey at 6'9", Miller listed at 6'8". And here we go. Galkey wins the tip. 31 is Scott Nedved. Might remember him from football as this guy. 11 is Robbie Ness. Mitch Snyder. Spotted by Mike Miller. Dennis Coakley tried to take it to the rim, and the big man redirected it. Mitchell starts with Kyle Severide, Mike Miller, Tom Young, Skip Young, and Jason Ackman. And the man from the Kernels, Mitch Snyder. Snyder, the only senior in the starting lineup for the Bucks. 4 juniors otherwise, and they come out in a triangle and 2. Chasing Ackman and Scott Nedved on Mike Miller, but Tommy Young connects for 2, tied up at 2.
When you look at the starting 5 for Mitchell, Miller averaging 22 points a game, the rest in single figures, except for Jason Ackman, number 55. He's averaging 12. So on an off night, Mike Miller has an off night. Mitchell, the Kernels are vulnerable.
Nice little wraparound by Ackman, finally gets it under control. Severide, back to Skip Young inside. Good Kernel passing once Ackman ran it down. And Mitchell has seen every form of so-called junk defense this year, so see how they handle that. Galkey got it up off glass. 4-4. Galkey Galkey averages 12 points, 8 boards a game.
Buck's doing a good job working it around and fighting the open guy down underneath for the high percentage shot here early on.
Tommy Young in and out. Rebound to Coakley. Mitchell beat Yankton twice this year. Beat him by 3 early in the season. And then Mitchell beat him by 16 toward the end of the regular year. Galkey wants the ball down low against Miller. Miller got a little piece of it. And Skinny back the other way. He'll reach in on Robbie Ness.
Another reason Mike Miller is so versatile on both ends of the court. He can get up and jump with the big guys on defense. A lot of times comes up with the block and comes down with his own rebound, and he's not afraid to run the court and lead the fast break either.
Straight zone out of the inbound. Mike Miller straightaway three. He's been recruited already as a junior by about every Division I powerhouse in the country. Minnesota, North Carolina, Duke, you name it.
And also attracted a shoe contract, we should add. Probably the only high school in South Dakota with a Nike shoe contract.
The Kernels uniforms, sweats, shoes provided by Nike. The one team in South Dakota that has that pretty cushy deal from the shoe company. Robbie Ness looking for some room, finds it from the free throw line. Galkey though rebound. Brad Galkey has 4 and it's 7-6 Mitchell.
Good job by Galkey. As you saw, Mike Miller ran out to get a hand in the shot, and he left Galkey all alone underneath for the easy rebound and putback.
Straight zone again by the Bucks. Ackman for 3. Back iron. Scramble on the rebound and a held ball between Severide and Snyder. It'll stay at the Mitchell end on the possession arrow. TV timeout. 4:35 to play in the first. Kernels by 1.
A single, well-tuned instrument is capable of so much on its own. But sometimes it needs additional support to provide depth and harmony. This is the idea behind the Sioux Valley Health System. A regional network of highly respected hospitals, clinics, and nursing homes, each functioning with its own resources and expertise, but joined together to offer a level of advanced technology to our many communities. Because we know that patients are best served when cared for near their families and homes. And that should be music to everyone's ears. The Sioux Valley Health System. Strong as one, even stronger together.
Brandon Valley faithful, keeping track of the other teams tonight in the ESD. 5 Eastern South Dakota Conference teams in. 4 of them playing tonight. Pierre and Watertown will follow this one. Mike Miller will trigger it in for the Kernels against the 2-3 zone. Back out to the corner. Skinny for 3. Mike Miller, second 3 of the ball game. 10-6. Mitchell.
The thing to do with Mike Miller, you almost have to give him his 20, 22 points a game and try and shut down everybody else to keep it close with this Mitchell team.
Yankton coach Dave Hofer will point out that there is much more to this team than just Mike Miller. Galkey on the nice feed to Snyder. Mitch Snyder has 4 and it's 10-8. Good. Tom Young got a hand on it. It comes away to Robbie Ness. A lot of athletes in the red uniforms. Ness and Nedved. Snyder. Part of another good Yankton football team this year. Referee Justin Ingalls saw a reach in on Jason Ackman.
During their conference season, two teams met twice, with Mitchell winning both of them. The first time back in January, just a 3-point win, 56-53, and then the second time they met in February, 68-52 the win for Mitchell.
Snyder snuck loose on the inbound. Rebound noted Nedved. And the Bucks can tie with a 2 here. Snyder to a little long. Offside rebound to net. Coakley's first points of the game, a 3, and Yankton has a 1-point lead.
And he hit that one from way downtown. A little bit of distance between him and the hoop.
And on the made hoop, Yankton goes back to the triangle and 2. Chasing Ackman, chasing Mike Miller, and the Kernels throw it away. Tom Cogley checks in for Skip Young. Cogley, a sophomore, averages 5 points off the bench. And the Bucks return the turnover favor.
Yankton did a good job at cutting through that backcourt pressure, but when they got it over half court, they didn't have anybody. The other two Yankton Bucks were just kind of walking down the floor and weren't expecting it to get down that quick.
Mitchell down by 1, 2:15 to play, first quarter. Mike Miller got a step. Zalke came over to swat it, but he picked up the foul, and Miller's going to shoot 2 from the line. Got a lot of ball on the way up, but got a lot of Miller on the way down.
I think that's what Yankton coach Dave Holster saw too. Only saw a lot of ball and didn't see the aftermath, and of course disagreed with the call.
1 out of 2 for Miller, ties it up at 11. Two minutes to play in the first. Miller took it away and got it himself ahead to Ackman. Just an outstanding play by Mike Miller. Got the block. Ackman saw it. He busted out of there.
Even after the block, Miller falling out of bounds, and he had almost 3/4 of the length of the floor, one arm while falling out of bounds, and hit Ackman right on the money.
And that's really what Jerry Munson wants to see out of Mike Miller, is more at the defensive end. He knows he'll get his points, but he'll make a big impact defensively. Tom Young had it swatted away, and Robbie Ness runs it back for Yankton. 1 minute to play, first quarter. Next 13-footer, no. Salty had it for a minute. It was trying to go back up, and it just came loose right to Mitch Snyder.
Got it knocked out of his hands. It got the perfect bounce to his teammate. And Snyder was sitting there waiting for the rebound, and he ended up getting the tip and the hoop.
Mitchie on the spot has 6. Tied up at 13. Here's Cogley. And for some reason, he went and got a hand on that and knocked it out of bounds.
Guess you could call that a mental error. Saw that in the 2 games this afternoon. Both teams a little tight coming out in these first games of the state tournament. Let's got to give them a quarter to get into the swing of things.
Bucks trying to play for 1. There's your quarter clock. Coakley again for 3. No. Rebounded by Miller.
perfectly set up. Pass just flew over Kyle Severide's head with no chance of coming down with it.
Galkey back in. Dan Brinkman, who was in briefly, sits down. 5.3 seconds for somebody to get a shot off, and it's going to be Mike Miller. For three. And after one quarter, all tied up. 13 apiece, Mitchell and Yankton.
Your community Norwest Bank is helping our region's youth achieve their highest dreams. That's why this year we're awarding 78 $1,000 scholarships to deserving local students. Meet some of this year's winners.
From Del Rapids, home of the scenic Dells, our winners are Lori Buheim and Timothy Zor.
From Chamberlain, home of St. Joseph's Indian School, Oxford Lakota Museum, and future home of the South Dakota Hall of Fame, our 1997 winners are Michael Laheska and Seth Tupper.
We congratulate two more winners from the Rapid City area, Robin Weaver and David Keating.
From your Norwest banks in South Central South Dakota, our winners are Holly Thompson, Amanda Bloom, Brianna Steiner, Amber Hall, and Lenny Tucker.
And from beautiful Big Stone Lake at Millbank, we're proud of our winners, Courtney Melhoff and Jennifer Holscher.
Congratulations.
Here's another look at Mike Miller in action, both on defense and offense. He picks up the block. Ball's going out of bounds. He saves it and one-arms it down court. You can see Jason Ackman finishing off with an easy layup. Score tied at 13.
7 points in that first quarter for Mike Miller. 6 for Mitch Snyder to lead Yankton. 23 is Nick Altoff into the ball game for the Bucks. Looking on the back cut for Coakley, but Snyder threw it away.
Coakley stopped right in his tracks and was looking to cut back out on the wing. Turnover by
Triangle in two. Nedved chasing Mike Miller. Coakley chasing Ackman. Miller, though, got his hands on it. Tommy Young got it back. Ernie Kuiper straight away. Young board. The Bucks want a 3-second call on somebody. Tommy Young baseline, got it. 2 hoops for Young. 15-13, Ackman. Stripped Altoff naked and back the other way. Looking for Kuiper, good pass to Skip Young.
nice touch patch in there from Kuiper. Standing in the lane, he saw Skip Young all alone underneath.
A 4-point run by the Kernels. They lead it 17-13. Really extending the defense, trying to overplay. Snyder got loose underneath. Mitch Snyder. Nice little reverse. 8 points for Snyder. 2-point Kernel lead. Triangle and two, if you're not familiar with it. That's partially blocked by Galkey. 3 Yankton players in a zone. As you take another look, the big fella came out.
Good job in coming out on the wing, getting a hand in his face.
They'll play it straight here off the inbound. Ernie Kuiper got inside.
Here's a look at your Norwest set board from the first quarter. From the field, Mitchell 5 of 9, 6 of 14 for the Bucks. From behind the arc, Mitchell shooting 50%, as is Yankton. They're 1 of 2. 1 of 2 free throws for Mitchell. even in turnovers and in the rebounds. Yankton with a big lead on the rebounding stat.
No calls at both ends of the floor. It comes back to Nedved, who lets fly. Zalke had a rebound for a second, and Ernie Kuiper got underneath, and the foul is on Kuiper. I think Ernie got the worst of it with an elbow from Zalke, but he was undercutting the big fella. Just 2 team fouls on each team thus far. 5:09 to play before halftime. And now on the inbound, Althoff, you can't move your feet, and he did. And it's a travel.
Only after made basket, you can run the baseline.
Straight 2-3 this time out of the Yankton Bucks. Tommy Young, Mike Miller for 3. And he got fouled on the lower body, and he'll shoot 3.
Rob Ness had some momentum as he tried to get a face in front of the 6'8 junior Mike Miller and went to box him out before Miller even came down and gave him a little hip-to-hip action and sent Miller to the floor and to the line for 2.
Skinny made it look good going to the floor.
To the line for 3.
72% free throw shooter on the season, but he's 1 out of 4 so far. Points for Miller, 5-point Mitchell lead. Now they come with a little bit of pressure. Into the motion passing game, Zalke. Jason Ackman with the long board for the Kernels. Up by 5. Dennis Kuiper had it taken away by Coakley. Dennis Coakley spins, got it up on the glass, and he got fouled.
Nice spin move by Coakley. He goes in. Almost got the a la George Gervin figure roll. He'll go to the line for a couple. Looked on the other end, and that Kuiper went into the lane. All of a sudden, he was in the paint and looked up, and all he saw was bodies, and he didn't really have anywhere else to go. And
Coakley's a 78% free throw shooter, best on the team. Got them both 5 for Coakley, and Yankton back within 3. Dave Hofer knows that. We got a timeout on the floor. 4:20 to play before halftime.
Across our state, the most pressing need in many communities is one which might never come to mind unless the need is yours. That's why Norwest is involved, creating partnerships that spark new affordable housing, developing programs that make the dream of homeownership possible, and sometimes just pitching in, meeting needs, fulfilling dreams. Norwest, to the nth degree.
South Dakotans take pride in strong values. Here deals are still made and kept with a handshake, and disputes are settled with old-fashioned common sense. That's why few court cases in South Dakota ever go to trial. But when they do, our juries have the clear sight to make honest, fair decisions, keeping court costs low and standards high. Because of you, South Dakota has a justice system that works. And for that, we thank you.
A lot of Buck fans up in the upper level. Yankton down by 3. 20-17 Mitchell. 4:20 to play before halftime. 4 has been the biggest lead in the first half by the guys in yellow. Chad Porter is number 4 into the game for Mitchell. Straight 2-3 zone.
Both teams playing some good hard-nosed defense, denying down in the blocks, and they're stretching the wingman all the way out past the CBA three-point line. Tough to find a shot down inside there.
Hopefully got a hand on it for Yankton, so it's still Mitchell basketball. There's Dave Hofer, who will be done coaching after this state tournament at Yankton. After 9 years with the Bucks, he's going to call it quits. Still will teach in the Yankton system. Would go for Porter, back the other way, Coakley. And Mike Miller comes away and got fouled by Dennis Coakley.
Good reaction by Miller to turn around and pick up the loose ball and start the break in the other way. And you can see a lot of these guys tired, grabbing their shorts out here. They've been back and forth throughout this first half. Not a lot of scoring, but as I mentioned before, some tough defense.
NCAA Sweet 16 games going on tonight. Utah leads Stanford by 14 with a half. And the Gophers still in the first half, laying it on Clemson by 15. Mike Miller perfect on the 3, 11 now for Skinny. 6-point Mitchell lead. 3 threes for Miller. Galsky got it on the block. Miller blocked it. Dawson saves. Grabbing Ness, no call. Dawson skip, no good. It's going to be a held ball.
Like 4 of the 10 men on the floor are on the floor.
Danny Brinkman went down to get it for Yankton in the possession. 0 points to the yellow team.
And the refs letting them play in this first half.
Miller step forward. Was it a walk?
Looks like almost like one of those hop steps. You know, he's got such long legs and the long leap, but if you ask the Yankton bench, I believe they'll say it was a walk.
Off of Nedved, and Mitchell will get it back.
Scotty Nedved took his eye off the ball, was looking to dish off inside, and lost it out of bounds.
Yankton wants timeout. Mitchell leads it by 8.
This is WNAX, radio phone sending station, broadcasting from Yankton, South Dakota.
Those who were involved in the WNEX experiment hardly dared dream that the broadcasting station they were working on would one day become an important part of the history of the Midwest. But one man, John Chandler Gurney, did have the vision to see beyond the early experiments.
Join us Saturday at 3, 2 Mountain.
Did you know? Last year, South Dakota Public Television provided over 1,000 hours of classroom instruction, serving over 150,000 students. It's a fact. Join us for Festival on South Dakota Public Television.
Here's another look at that Miller jump step hop. Take a look at it in slow motion. You can see he did not travel, even though at least half of the Sioux Falls arena thought he did. Just got the long 6'8" legs going towards the hoop. Took one step, which is you're allowed.
He did. He took one and he was there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
13 so far for Mike Miller. Mitchell leads it by 8. 2:05 to play before halftime. And now the Bucks really coming with some pressure, and Dennis Coakley picks up his second foul.
Yankton doing a good job of pressuring in the backcourt. First they had Miller, got him to pick up his dribble and converged on him with the trap, and they almost got the turnover here.
Back to the straight 2-3. Nice little jump stop and hoop by Chad Porter.
Nice shot by Chad Porter. He went up and had a big hand in his face. He had to alter his shot, and he still got it to go.
10-point lead all of a sudden for Mitchell. Would go for Galkey. Snyder, though, rebounds for Yankton. Back to Nedved. Snyder gets by Skip Young. Finds Nedved, but they go inside to Galkey. Nedved for three. Rebounded by Porter ahead to Ackman. 15-foot pull-up, no, but Skip Young picked him up. 6 for Skip Young. Mitchell by a dozen, under a minute to play now. Second quarter. Ness back the other way, had it tattooed by Miller out of bounds.
Fourth block in this first half for Mike Miller. He just gets down so quick, and he times his leap perfect, and the man can leap. 6'8" standing.
Young got a hand on it. It'll be off of him. Still Yankton ball. That was a swat. Dave Hofer standing up, giving directions. His team down by a dozen. And there's the game clock. Galkey and Snyder have some kind of thing going where anytime it's a loose ball out of Galkey's hands, it ends up in Mitch Snyder's hands. Now under 30 seconds, Mitchell will most likely look for one. And this guy will most likely be the one to take it. Tommy Young had Skip Young. And Mitchell's got it rolling here as we hit halftime. They lead it by 14, 31-17 over the Yankton Bucks. 13 in the first half for Mike Miller. Here's that last little flurry. Porter, nice look to Skip Young. Skip Young has 8 at the half, and we're going to catch up with Mitchell head coach Gary Munson and see what's on his mind. As his team went on a little run there to end the half. John Wilson is standing by. 15 minutes early.
All right, thanks for standing by with Gary Munson. Gary, what do you think your team's play here in the first half?
Well, we got pretty aggressive defensively and got a few block shots and got a few breaks here and there. Got some other kids involved besides Skinny and Ackman. We finally got a couple other kids going for us, and that's where we try to use our bench, but there's still 16 minutes left, and I've been in this position before and lost before many times, so just need to finish the game for 16 more minutes.
Looks like the refs are letting both you guys play a little bit here.
Well, I think when you come to a tournament, we're used to banging on each other all year long, and I think that's the way it should be, too.
Okay, good luck in the second half, Gary. Tommy, back to you.
All right, Will, 31-17. Mitchell on top of Yankton, and we will get it back here to the AA tournament at the Sioux Falls Arena after we do
Thanks, Tom. Don't forget us. Don't forget Public TV and this great partnership we have with Land Television, the South Dakota High School Activities Association. It is a crowd here at the Sioux Falls Arena, but you've got the best seat in the house. Why? Because we have this partnership between our two networks and, of course, the High School Activities Association. How it got here is when people like you went to the phone and pledged their support. We're going to throw it now to our Vermillion studios, and Kim and Larry are going to tell you how to do that. So take it away, Vermillion.
All right, thanks, Michelle. We're at halftime of the game number 1 for, actually, game number 3 in the opening round of the state AA boys basketball tournament, the first of the evening session. And through the partnership Michelle mentioned with Kello Television, with commitments, of course, for the NCAA tournament. There you're seeing the high school boys tournament here on your South Dakota Public Television Network. We're taking some time out now between the games doing this because The basketball tournaments also have come up during the traditional festival membership weeks on South Dakota Public Television. The way the entire system works is we ask you to use that telephone number that's on the screen. We have phone volunteers here from Norwest who will answer the calls and ask you to become a new member or to renew your membership pledge in South Dakota Public Television. And when you call with that membership pledge, what happens is you're investing in the program fund that will purchase shows like the News Hour. In fact, I'll mention some of the shows for the kids like Mr. Rogers and Sesame Street. Nova and Nature and the Nightly Business Report. In fact, everything you see is made possible in a large part through your continued support in South Dakota Public Television. You appreciate the fact that the Public Television Network is here to provide programming for you 7 days a week throughout the year. Then call and become a member. It's halftime of Game 1. Good evening. My name is Larry Roy, and also, as Michelle mentioned, Kim Ametka is here as well and has some goals for us to reach before the night's over.
Thank you, Larry. Yes, we do have a goal this evening of $4,500. We're currently only at $50. Call now and show your support. You're obviously showing your support for your favorite team, edging them on to advance to the semifinals. So show your support for South Dakota Public TV and the favorite programs that you support throughout the year. The number's at the bottom of your screen, 1-800-777-0789. And I do have a thank you gift that you can select at a $60 level. That's only $5 a month. Yes, it is golf season. As you can tell, the nice warm weather that we've had the last couple days and hopefully into the weekend. You see it on the screen there. It's $60 or more. You receive this cap that you can select on the form. That is all you have to do is call in your pledge. I hear the phone's ringing. That's good news at 1-800-777-0789. And Larry's going to tell us different ways that you can pay for this. Larry?
Well, you have your choice. There are several choices you make. The first choice that we hope you make is that to become a member and support programming here on South Dakota Public Television. It is a choice, and we hope you will pick up that challenge to make a financial commitment in the programming that you'll be seeing in the year ahead. From that point, how much do you make a pledge for? Well, how much is that membership worth? You get to decide that amount. The first choice is the amount that you choose. It might be the basic $35 family membership that we suggest. With that, you'll receive the program guide in your home for the next year. Other levels that you see on the screen now, you pick one that may feel comfortable for you and your family. Now, you can break those down into $5, $7.50 a month, and at each of those levels, there are different premiums that are available. As Kim mentioned, the South Dakota Public Broadcasting cap is one of the premiums available at the $60 membership level. You decide how much, and you even have some choices on how to fulfill that membership. There are lots of ways to do it, Kim.
Yes, and you're probably asking, too, how can you pay for this pledge? It's easy. Check, credit card, electronic funds transfer, monthly installments, or just, again, call on your credit card, put it on your credit card. It's easy. We accept Visa, American Express, MasterCard, Discover. I think I've covered them all pretty much. Numbers are at the bottom of your screen, 1-800-777-0789. Help us reach this goal tonight of $4,500. Currently, we're at $50, and Larry's going to show us another thank you gift that you can receive. Larry? Quick throw.
Good throw. All the way to the camera, too. Okay, again, at the $60 membership level. I'm glad you had both of those, brought those out here. This is the South Dakota Public Broadcasting T-shirt. Pick out the size that you like. Small, medium, large, double X, okay? The South Dakota Public Broadcasting 30th anniversary logo is on there. And another one of the items that you can pick out at that $60 membership level. At the $60 pledge level, you'll receive the program guide, plus you may choose the South Dakota Public Broadcasting 30th anniversary T-shirt for you. The way it starts is by using this toll-free number. We've got a couple minutes to go yet during halftime of the first evening game. Mitchell leads Yankton 31-17. It's halftime. You're watching the AA basketball tournament on South Dakota Public Television this session in a partnership with Kernels, who is doing the production out of the Sioux Falls Arena. And we're in festival. This is a time where we're normally showing some of the highlights of programming throughout the year to remind you how important public television can be in your life. Basketball over my shoulder, that's coming up. We're at halftime. But if you appreciate the fact that public television has programming that the whole family can enjoy and that it's a resource that you value, then we're asking you to participate in festival. And use that phone number. Volunteers from Norwest are answering the phone tonight, inviting you to become a member of public television. Again, at the $60 membership level, the South Dakota Public Broadcasting 30th Anniversary T-shirt is one of the premiums you can choose. So lines are open. Call now.
And you can call in your pledge, whatever you can afford. If you can afford $35, that'd be great. You can get the program guide, which comes monthly into your home. telling them some of the wonderful specials that we have on public TV as well as public radio, not just tonight, not just through festival, but throughout the entire year. Again, this comes monthly into your home for a simple $35. That's less than $3 a month. Call in now, 1-800-777-0789. I have a new updated total of $335. The goal is $4,500 this evening, and we're hoping that you'll call in and show your support, just like you're supporting your favorite team and edging them on to advance to the semifinals. We're hoping that you'll show your support of South Dakota Public TV. Maybe not just tonight, but throughout the entire year. We have wonderful programs coming to you into your home. 1-800-777-0789. Norwest people are standing by. They're also a sponsor of this event this evening. Call in. Make those phones ring. Make their little hats move there. 1-800-777-0789. And Larry?
I'm making a little hat move. Okay. You're watching some of the halftime action over my shoulder here at the Sioux Falls Arena. We're going back there in a couple of minutes. Mitchell leads Yankton 31-17 at half. Pure Watertown, the second game. We're here at halftime, and we'll be here between games to remind you that South Dakota Public Television programming that you watch is made possible through your continued membership support. That is, the largest portion of the program bill is paid through memberships like yours. The memberships of $5 or $5 a month, of $10 or $10 a month. The amount that you decide that is right for you and your family, that you make a commitment to public television, that's pooled together with other viewers like yourself. That's how the programs happen. Your dollars equal programs. It's that simple. And throughout most of the year, they're steadily run through. We take breaks a couple of weeks here and there throughout the year to remind you that of this important process and ask you to be involved. So if you have a few moments, we have a couple of days left in festival. Take advantage of this time while you're thinking about it, while we're at halftime, to call and renew or become a new member of South Dakota Public Television. There are the hats and the people underneath them from Norwest. Look at those free hands. They should be on phones. Use that number. Make a membership call right now.
Yes, and Norwest is a sponsor of these games this evening, as well as you notice those cute little hats that they have on. Actually, I'm going to put mine on now. This is Liberty. This will be airing in October on South Dakota Public TV. It's one of the many specials that we have coming to you throughout the year. So call in your support now at 1-800-777-0789. Our goal is $4,500 this evening. We're currently at $405. So call in, show your support. I have a challenge. We're watching right now Mitchell and Yankton. I have a challenge for each of those towns to call in your support. We're going to see which one can make the most pledges this evening. Mitchell versus Yankton. Call in now. Show your support for not only your favorite team, but also your favorite town. What a great, and also South Dakota Public TV. 1-800-777-0789. Larry?
All right, thanks, Kim. As you can see, the number is on the screen. More phone lines are open, and the whole pledge process only takes about a minute or a minute and a half. What we want to do is find out who is calling. We'll greet you and ask who's calling and how much you'd like to make that pledge for. And then from then on, once you've decided that, how you want to fulfill that, whether it's your credit card, as you can see with a MasterCard, Visa, Discover, or American Express, or if you want to write a check or pick one of the membership levels that correspond with the monthly installment plan at $5, $10, $7.50, $15 a month or so. And then that's just about it. The process takes just about a minute to a minute and a half, and you're back on your way. That time, that minute that you invest, along with the dollars, will pay back 365 days ahead in programming coming back to you on South Dakota Public Television. It's an important call. It's been a very successful relationship through the 30 years of South Dakota Public Broadcasting. We're asking you to continue that by making that new membership call or renewal pledge right now. Kim?
Yes, and we have a new updated... let's see, $635 we're currently at. Right now, our goal is $4,500 for this evening. Call in your support, 1-800-777-0789. And at that $60 level, Larry mentioned earlier, you get that wonderful T-shirt, South Dakota Public TV, the 30th anniversary. I have the cast. You choose which one you'd like when you call. It's easy. Put it on the credit card, check, electronic funds transfer. And in a few minutes, we're going to be going back to the game. Call now, 1-800-777-0789.
Thank you for your pledge of support. Your contribution will help keep outstanding programs on South Dakota Public Television.
Kim, Larry, thank you very much. We are back in Sioux Falls. Halftime between Mitchell and Yankton, and I'm not sure who they're rooting for. They're just rooting.
Having fun. Good crowd this afternoon and another good one tonight. A lot of people from Mitchell in the Sioux Falls Arena, as is all season long. Good following for Mitchell. As a matter of fact, Mitchell, let's take a look at our halftime stats brought to you by Norwest Bank. From the field, 13 of 21 for Mitchell. 7 of 26 for the Yankton Bucks, just 27% for the Bucks. From behind the arc, 3 of 6 for the Kernels, 1 of 3 for Yankton. From the stripe, 2 of 5 for Mitchell, 2 for 2 for the Bucks, 100% from the stripe. Rebounds 13 to 9 in favor of Yankton, and on the turnover side, Yankton also 3 more than Mitchell, and Mitchell's leading this one 31 to 17. What I was getting to before we went to the stats, Tommy, Mitchell 16 and 4 on the year. We take a look at some more NCAA scores from the West Regional. Utah in front of Stanford by 6. That in the second half. And there's your Minnesota score. They've gone to halftime in the Midwest. 41 to 35. Minnesota was out in front big. Clemson came back with a late half rally and pulled them in within 6. The Kernels 16 and 4 on the year. All 4 of those losses coming on the road. Undefeated at home. Perfect 9 and 0. Or let's check that. Put that the other way around. 4 losses all came at home, and they're perfect on the road. 9 and 0 is what I was trying to get at.
That is weird. You go to the Palace, it is just impossible to win there. I think Huron has won there once in the last 15 years, something like that.
A wild atmosphere, and of course, the Corn Palace full of state championship banners. Gary Munson and his girls and boys basketball team. Here's a look at your scores from this afternoon here in the first round of the AA tournament. Brandon Valley handed it to Rapid City 72 to 54, and Brandon Valley will meet Sioux Falls Lincoln in the semis tomorrow. Lincoln beat Spearfish 57 to 47. It'll be a rematch of that district final last week where Brandon Valley beat Lincoln in overtime 52 to 50 on their home court to gain a berth in the state AA tournament. So that should be a good one. Both of those teams basically calling this their home court, even though neither of them play here. That was interesting talking with Lyle Pearson. Since they won their state championship, Lincoln hasn't played a game on this court. And getting the kids used to it. First thing he did was run some wind sprints.
A little longer floor here than they have at Lincoln High School, yeah.
That's a good way to get used to the court.
Yankton fans need their team to come out and get hot right away. They're down by 14. Mitchell went on a pretty good run there to end the first half and take a 31 to 17 lead into the locker room. Some of the Pier fans getting ready for our next game, Pier and Watertown. So we know there'll be at least one Eastern South Dakota Conference team in the final.
That first half for Mike Miller, 13 points, 4 blocks, 4 rebounds. Pretty consistent.
Yankton comes out with a Robbie Ness. 3 is just a little bit short. Rebounded by Schneider, though. Dennis Coakley that fires away from 3. That's just off. Schulte got a rebound, and that wouldn't go. They get 3 shots out of it at it. And then Schulte picks up his second foul.
Schulte thought he came down with the ball on that, but he got wrapped around the body of the Mitchell Kernel and got called for the foul.
And they had 2 threes that were in and out, and then Schulte with the follow in close wouldn't go. And Kyle Severide will run it back the other way. This is Tommy Young. A bit of step through. Six for Tom Young. 16-point lead for Mitchell. Mitch Schneider, the man with the ball, had 8 points in the first half to lead Yankton. Only 3 players scored for the Bucks. Schneider's long and Severide rebounds. He's got Miller ahead of the crowd. Mike Miller. Count it, and he's going to get a free throw. Good push by Severide. Schneider tried to hold him down.
See Miller getting his feet ready for the big throwdown, and Schneider grabbed him and kept him from doing that, but Miller still got the bucket to fall.
16 for Mike Miller, and Munson and company out by 19. And at the state tournament time, Mitchell plays well.
And once you get down in a hole against these Kernels, tough to battle back.
Nedved. Scotty Nedved from 14. Short. Ackman board. Skinny Miller for 3. Mike Miller's fourth 3 of the ball game. He's got 19 points now. 22-point Mitchell lead. Yankton timeout. Mitchell has come out hot. Ripped off 8 straight points to start the second half.
A single, well-tuned instrument is capable of so much on its own. But sometimes it needs additional support to provide depth and harmony. This is the idea behind the Sioux Valley Health System. A regional network of highly respected hospitals, clinics, and nursing homes, each functioning with its own resources and expertise, but joined together to offer a level of advanced technology to our many communities. Because we know that patients are best served when cared for near their families and homes. And that should be music to everyone's ears. The Sioux Valley Health System. Strong as one, even stronger together.
At the 6:25 mark of the third quarter, Mitchell came out smoking. They're 3 of 3, 100% from the field, 1 of 1 from behind the arc. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, Yankton 0 for 5, 0 for 2 from the three-point range.
And Coakley gets him off the schneid. Bucket in the foul. Foul goes on Tom Young. Tough shot, tough angle. Coakley just a junior. He along with Robbie Ness and Nedved. Dalkey, all juniors for Yankton. Lead back down to 19 for Mitchell. Tom Young shakes loose. And got the roll. 8 now for Tom Young. 21-point Kernel lead.
Tom Young, virtually easy shot. They had Ackman running the baseline. They had Miller all the way out of the point, opening up inside. And Ackman got there. Young got the hoop, uncontested.
Dalkey got it up, got fouled by Miller. Mike Miller's first, and Big Brad Dalkey will go to the free throw line.
Mike Miller's done a good job inside on Dalkey, 6'9" senior. I don't know how many shots he's altered throughout that first half, but he finally got Dalkey on the arm and sent it into there.
Slam cam view, rebound to Skip Young. To Robbie Ness, who saves, but he's got some catching up to do. And now Miller out ahead. Flies around somebody there. I think it was Nedved. Take another look. Nedved was pretty well set.
Looked like he was set and leaning just a little bit. It looked like he had his feet both up on the ground.
Gary Reed disagreed. Miller missed them both. They got the rebound. 14-foot floater wouldn't go. Tommy Young board. And Severide will back it back out. And Mike Miller, so he's trying to catch his breath, but
been taking a few shots after those last couple shots. He's hit the deck a couple of times here in the last minute or two.
Severide to Ackman to Skip Young, and Skip Young's been the recipient of some super passing inside. 22-point Mitchell lead. 3 by Ness, no. Tom Young clear. And now Skip Young down on the baseline. Got something in his eye, or he lost the contact or something. They're going to time out for that. Tom Cogley is going to check in. It looks like he got popped right between the eyes. And anytime there's any blood whatsoever, you got to sit down and get it cleaned up before you can get back in. Ackman, short. Off a Nedved, though, and it's still Mitchell basketball.
Seems like we have been on that end of the court for quite a while. Yankton having trouble coming down with the rebound. Mitchell getting second shot at the last few shots here down on this offensive side of the ball.
Been down there most of this half. Miller for 3. Rebound to Snyder. Mitch Snyder. Scoops underneath, counted for Snyder.
Nice shot by Mitch Snyder. Went up and looked like he was going to go in for the easy left-handed layup, and he switched gears and stayed with his right hand and got the little scoop up and under.
Fouls on Tom Young. Second on Young. And Schneider is in double digits with 10. And he runs it down to the Red Boys. They're down by 20. Still a 3 won't go. Schneider came flying in again. Young and Galke go to the floor, and they're going to call a foul on Brad Galke. Brinkman in for Galke. 3:57 to play in the third. Timeout on the floor. Kernels up big.
It's a jungle out there, and nobody puts you in the thick of it like public television.
M means only one thing.
Got milk?
Milk. We will award the American Dairy Association Player of the Game after this one. After every TV game here on South Dakota Public TV and Kettleland TV. We're back on public TV tomorrow night for the semifinals.
Midway through the third quarter here, Yankton still having trouble from the field. Just 2 of 10, shooting 20% from the field. They haven't hit a three-point shot in this quarter. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, 5 of 9 for Mitchell, 55% from the field, 1 of 2 from behind the arc, and 1 of 3 from the free throw line.
43-23 Mitchell. 3:50 to play, third quarter. Skip Young still over on the bench there, getting some medical attention for a little cut between the eyes. Tom Cogley is in for him as Ackman and Severide run it for Mitchell. Yankton in the 2-3. The guard really moving a lot. Severide found Miller inside and City reversed it. 21 now for Mike Miller. Ness right back at him though. Robbie Ness, first scoop of the game. Lead stays at 20.
Last time down around the court. You can see Mitchell just keep rotating the ball around the perimeter. You can just see Skinny slip it into the back and kind of got in there unnoticed, which is kind of hard to do because he usually attracts a lot of attention down underneath.
Tried to give it back to Severide. It was off Eric's face, so Yankton takes over. Altoff inside. Nick Altoff gets his first hoop. Cuts the lead to 18. Now the Kernels in a semi-delay. Out high. Pounding the dribble a little bit more. Yankton in the man-to-man now. Or they're trying to match up anyway. Snyder out on Miller. Snyder swatted it, but Miller's going to shoot too.
Skinny putting it on the floor and driving it hard to the hoop. Schneider doing what he can to keep up, but he did get the swat, but he also got him with the body.
The nephew of Alan Miller, former Stickney High School, Porter Wesleyan star. Mike's dad, Tom, also was a player at Wesleyan. Brother Brian is at Northern State right now. Nick Snyder. Nice little up and under. 12 now for Snyder. Leads down to 17. With a minute 40 to play in the third. Draws the double team. Miller trying to get by Altoff, and they whistle Nick Altoff for blocking.
Miller got the ball. First thing he did was saw an opening down around the baseline and put it on the floor, and Altoff couldn't catch up. Got the pushing foul. 16 foul on Yankton here in the second half.
A lot more selective now on shots as we hit the 1 minute mark in the third. Skipman looking for Severide. It's tied up down there by Snyder, held ball. And again, the arrow points to Mitchell. 45, John Giggy. A senior checks in for Coakley. David Matsky is also going to check in, along with Nedved. Triggers it in for the Kernels. And Nick Altoff.
Did a great job of saving it, and about stumbled over and broke his neck trying to get back in on the court. One thing Mitchell doesn't want to do is slow this down too much and totally get out of their offense. You've seen big leads evaporate before, especially in a state tournament like this.
The lead right now is 17. There's the time remaining in the third. Young looking for the other Young. Instead finds Severide. First two for Kyle Severide. Back to a 19-point Mitchell lead.
The Bucks continue to look to dump it inside. Finally, they got a three out and no foul calls.
Altoff for three.
Skip Young just hammered all Volkoff after that three-point attempt right in front of the Yankton bench. No foul.
Both refs were looking the other way that time. Offensive foul on the Bucks at the end of the quarter. Goes on Matke. We'll be back with the fourth after this.
Your community Norwest Bank is dedicated to building the future of this region. That's why we've awarded over $500,000 in college and vocational scholarships to local students since 1990.
From Watertown, home of the new Terry Redland Center, our 1997 winners are Tyler Hansen, Tricia Limecool, and Mackenzie Yackley.
In Madison, we appreciate the staff and students at Dakota State University and congratulate our winners, Rhonda Calise and Elizabeth Pate.
Mitchell is proud to be home of Dakota Wesleyan University, Mitchell Technical Institute, and these 1997 $1,000 scholarship winners, Jill Sealer and Katie Elwine.
Spearfish salutes Black Hills State University and our two scholarship winners, Amanda Richards and Lindsay Young.
And from Deadwood, the family fun destination of the Northern Black Hills, our winners are Brian Mitchell and Heather Schmeidt.
Congratulations.
This is how that third quarter ended. David Matke called for the forearm shiver there against the Kernel defender. And as we start the fourth, it's a 19-point lead for Mitchell. Nedved inside, nowhere to go. Finds Galkey baseline. Rebound to Severide. Game was tied after one quarter at 13 all. And when the Kernels ripped off a big second quarter, they led it 31-17 at halftime. Ackman couldn't get their Snyder board. Ahead to Althoff, who runs over Mike Miller, and Miller picks up the blocking foul.
Another close call. It looks like Miller got there and beat him to the block. Then again, on the replay, maybe not. A little easier for us to call.
I just didn't quite get there. They've been consistent. There's been some close ones where they've stepped in, and all of them have gone on the defender stepping in. Now Severide got a little scrape on the face. Wouldn't go for Nick Althoff. Severide did have to sit down while they attend to him, and Chad Porter is back in for Mitchell. Kip Young rebounds the Althoff miss, and with 7:15 to play, Mitchell back the other way with a 19-point lead. Porter off of his sneaker.
Little mental error there. He took his eye off the ball before he had it in his hand. It bounced off his leg out of bounds. Right in front of Gary Munson.
Robbie Neff back in for Yankton. Nedved directs it the other way. Coakley for three. No. Snyder and Galkey both there. Brad Galkey got the rebound and the putback. 7 now for the big man. 6'9", Brad Galkey.
Good strong rebound by Galkey. He came down behind the glass and also almost had to wrap around on that short little three-footer to get it to go.
Still a 17-point lead for Mitchell. Kernels are the defending AA champions and the #1 seed coming into this tournament. They and Brandon Valley both with identical records, but Mitchell won the tiebreaker. Best record against common opponents. Stripped away by Coakley, and Coakley wanted to take it all the way, and now does, and Miller swats it. Coakley got it back, short on the three.
Here's a check on your Norwest stat board from the third quarter. Field goals, 20-32 from Mitchell. Yankton 12-40, still rather cool from the field. Mitchell 50% from behind the arc, just 1 of 7 for Yankton. And turnovers 11-7 favored by Yankton.
Timeout Kernels. They're up by 17.
Corn. Most often sold by the bushel and shipped out of state. But if farmers can use their corn right here to produce lean supermarket meats, or process it to make fuel for cars, or syrup that sweetens a breakfast, then that corn can be worth so much more. It's called value-added agriculture. And your community Norwest Bank is helping make it happen. Because value-added agriculture is everyone's future.
South Dakotans take pride in strong value. Here deals are still made and kept with a handshake, and disputes are settled with old-fashioned common sense. That's why few court cases in South Dakota ever go to trial. But when they do, our juries have the clear sight to make honest, fair decisions, keeping court costs low and standards high. Because of you, South Dakota has a justice system that works. And for that, we thank you.
I'm on TV. Yankton Bucks fan. Not a lot of screaming from the Yankton Bucks fans.
Get off of that young man before he says something we don't want him to say. 17-point Kernel lead. 5:40 to play in the fourth. Pierre and Watertown coming up after this one. Tom Young, nice fake cut to the rim.
I thought Brad Schulte sleeping there. He's kind of just waiting for him to make a move. Young finally made it and left Schulte in his tracks.
10 for Tommy Young, 19-point Mitchell lead. Bucks trying to feed off Schulte a little bit, getting him touches on the ball. He finds Nedved. He reverses, but Miller is there. To the board, and Mike Miller has done a pretty good job defensively for the Kernels. Tommy Young, Galkey didn't come out and get him, and he knocks it down. A dozen now for Young. Pushes the lead to 21. Away by Porter. Chad Porter. And now Porter a little overzealous on the face mask D.
Like that steal so much. Tried it again. Got a little too close. These Mitchell guards, some quick little hands in the backcourt press. Coming up with a few turnovers. 11 turnovers before our last break. Part of Yankton.
You don't really notice they're doing it, but they do put a little pressure on you, and Porter takes it away again. Galkey, though, was there to pick it up for his teammate, and Skip Young picks up the foul. 16 fouls on Mitchell. For three, short. And Mitch Schneider was about a step further than he thought he was. Schneider made the no-look to Ness. We got it back to Schneider. Copley for three. Dennis Copley connects his second three.
Schneider with the no-look pass, and there was nobody home.
11 now for Dennis Copley. Out of bounds off of Yankton. 3:33 to play in the fourth. Kernels by 20.
One hammer, one nail, one pair of willing hands joins another, and then another. This is Habitat for Humanity. Willing hands building houses, making homes. Norwest volunteers sharing team spirit, sharing a commitment to community. Norwest, to the nth degree.
There's a tradition in South Dakota. It says we can do anything we set our minds to do. So while the rest of America debates how to control the costs of health care, the physicians of South Dakota are quietly doing something about it. They're showing employers how to control their costs without reducing care. Some call it pride, others tradition. We call it Dakota Care. South Dakota's answer to America's most difficult question.
Kernels by a bunch, 3:33 to play. In regulation of this quarterfinal game, Porter to Skip Young. And every time they found Skip Young, he's found the bucket. 12 now for Skip Young. Ness for 3. And a chance for 4. Porter fouled him. Counted for Robbie Ness. It is a 3.
Robbie Ness was left after the save. Hopefully, Ness was all set up for that 3. And he got the shot away. Nice follow through. Kept his eye on the bucket. Got it to drop and can complete the 4-point play.
No dice. Rebound to Mike Miller. Kernels, though, turn it over. Nedved. Scotty Nedved's first points for the ball game come at the 2:56 mark in the fourth quarter. Kernels by 17. Mitchell crowd's just been pretty quiet for the last quarter and a half or so, as the lead has stayed right around the 17-point mark.
Exciting first half until Mitchell opened up that huge lead. The second half
off the feed from Tom Young. Mike Miller right down the pipe for the two-hand tomahawk.
Courtesy of the Kello Slam Cam, the big two-hander.
Nedved, no. Golfy rebound. Tommy Young rebounds for Mitchell. Ends up in Miller's hands again. A little strong, and Snyder dribbles it out to Coakley. Ernie.
Nice steal by Ernie Kuiper. Just couldn't keep it in play. Yankton will keep the ball. And here come the subs.
Mike Miller apparently done for the night. 24 points for Miller. Skip Young sits down beside him with 12.
Mike Miller unofficially 5 blocks along with 7 rebounds. Averaging 12 rebounds. A little under his average, but still a pretty good game for Skinny.
To Brinkman. Danny Brinkman's first points. Brinkman, another junior for Yankton. A minute 25 to play in the fourth. And Mitchell is going to move on into the semifinals tomorrow night. Gary Reed found a foul in there somewhere. And it goes on Dan Brinkman. And it's finally 1-and-1 time. Travis Merkwan, number 10, checks in for Mitchell. Ness sits down for Yankton, along with Coakley. Ernie Kuiper, 1-and-1. Bucks in the hand of John Giggy.
Kind of the way things have been going for Yankton here in the second half. They come up with an apparent offensive or defensive rebound, tip it out of bounds before anybody can catch up with it. There's a steal.
Steal for Aaron Hansen. 41 is Toby Gall. And the Bucks can't convert. Corey Sternquist, number 21, also in there for Yankton. And now a couple more substitutions for the Kernels. Tony Young and J.J. Tippett will check in for Piper and Chad Porter. Under a minute now, Aaron Hansen picks up the foul. And Travis Merkwan will get a chance for his first point for the game. Mitchell went on that big run in the second and pretty impressive since then, Johnny.
Never let up. Once they got Yankton on the ropes, they just kept pouring it on until they finally got him down, and Mitchell started taking some more time off the clock. Once they were clearly in control, the third quarter didn't take long in that second half. They came out smoking.
2 for Travis Merkwan. Kicks the lead back up to 20. Sternquist. And he's dribbling on the out-of-bounds line. Trying to feed Nick Scott inside. He's tied up by Brinkman. And it seems like the arrow every time is pointed toward Mitchell.
It has seemed like that. Been on this end of the court an awful lot here in the second half.
J.J. Tippett from Merkwan. And again, it's off of the Bucks with 15 seconds. And another one for Monk and company. Bob Johnson, one of his assistants there beside him. And somebody needs to nail a three here for Yankton to put a nice close on this ball game.
Give them a little spark going into tomorrow's consolation game.
Hansen inside, no. There's Merkwan. There's a little curly kneel to dribble it out. The Kernels win it by 20, 61-41. 24 for Mike Miller. 12 for Tom Young. 12 for Skip Young. Dennis Coakley had 11 for Yankton. Mitch Snyder led him with 12. And let's go down to Gary Munson and see what's on his mind after the win. John?
All right, standing by with Gary Munson. Gary came out of the locker room, and guys were pretty fired up coming out in that second half.
Well, I think that's the way to finish the game. You know, that's the way we always tell the kids, you know, you want to play for 32 minutes. So it was a great effort by our kids tonight. Not only, you know, Ackman and Skinny Miller, they had great games defensively and offensively, but there's other kids that stepped up, like Tommy Young really stepped up, and Skip Young got going, and even a couple of our reserves hit some big baskets for us to get that lead. So it was a great effort, and we hope we have another great effort tomorrow night.
Do you see your kids change their game at all when they come into postseason play like this?
Well, when we were struggling at home, when we lost 4 at home, we started doing some things differently, and it's paid off so far. We won about 7 or 8 in a row now, so we hope that it continues for a couple more.
All right, Gary, we'll see you in the semis tomorrow night. Tommy, back to you.
All right, Will. Yeah, they did spread it around a little bit, led by Miller's 24, Young and Young with 12 apiece, and Mitchell wins it 61-41. We'll be back with our player of the game. We'll get it down to the South Dakota Public TV studios